The retail world is changing fast, and it looks like it's about to be a tough year for some major players. From classic department stores to tech giants, layoffs are looming as these companies try to stay afloat. In this video, we'll be going through some major retailers that will face massive layoffs in 2025. Brace up, some of these names might shock you. Let's kick things off with Sears. Sears was once the undisputed giant of American retail, but these days they've been struggling to stay relevant in the digital age. Fast forward to 2025 and experts predict major layoffs as the company tries to keep its head above water. Revenue took a nosedive by 15% in 2023, and by 2024, Sears was barely hanging on with fewer than 100 stores left in the US, a far cry from the retail engine it used to be. While e-commerce boomed, Sears got left behind, with heavy hitters like Amazon and Walmart swooping in to steal its market share. Sure, Sears tried to make a comeback by merging with Kmart, diversifying products and launching new store ideas, but nothing seemed to click. Cost cuts, selling off assets, and closing stores have just brought the company a little more time, but the end may very well be near. With all that's happening, analysts believe a huge round of layoffs is on the horizon to help cut costs, but those cuts only show how far behind Sears is in adapting to today's digital-first world. Sears is now a painful reminder of the dangers of not keeping up with the times. Next up is Kmart, which has long been tied to Sears in their joint struggle to stay afloat. Once a dominant player in the discount retail world, Kmart now finds itself scrambling to stay relevant in a highly competitive market. Sales took a big hit in 2024, dropping at 12%, and things aren't looking any better for 2025, with closures and layoffs expected to increase. The company's incapacity to adopt to modern trends is very obvious. Consumers are flocking to e-commerce and bigger retail chains, leaving Kmart with fewer options to compete. Kmart has tried to revive its fortune in the past, but outdated business models and a lack of significant investment have left it scrambling to keep up. Insiders predict that Kmart could face as many as 5,000 job cuts in 2025 if the brand doesn't turn things around. With no major investors to turn to and limited resources, Kmart's fate is hanging by a thread. If these layoffs come to pass, they may be the final nail in the coffin for this once iconic brand. This brings us to Macys, another major retailer facing its own reckoning. Once the major queen of department stores, Macys is now dealing with a major decline. Despite its prime locations and prestigious reputation, Macys saw a worrying 7% drop in revenue in 2023, as inflation kept consumers from splurging as much. Even though holiday sales gave the company a temporary boost, Macys couldn't avoid the broader shift toward online shopping, which continues to squeeze traditional brick-and-mortar stores. In a bid to keep up with the times, Macys has thrown some new tricks into its playbook. They've introduced curbside pickup and given their online presence a makeover, hoping to lure shoppers back. But here's the catch: foot traffic to their physical stores just keeps shrinking. Many Macys locations are now starting to feel like deserted malls, with empty racks and crickets chirping in the aisles. The execs have even started talking about some serious cost-cutting moves, like trimming store hours and downsizing distribution centers. But even those efforts might not be enough to stop the inevitable wave of layoffs headed their way. Moving on now, we've got Best Buy. This retail giant is staring down a tough road ahead as it gears up for 2025, and layoffs could be on the horizon. A 5% drop in in-store transactions by the end of 2023 highlights the increasing pressure from e-commerce giants like Amazon, which is steadily chipping away at Best Buy's market share. And to make matters worse, supply chain issues in 2024 pushed up prices for popular products like TVs and gaming consoles, putting even more strain on profit margins. Despite Best Buy's efforts to stay competitive, such as launching subscription-based tech support, beefing up in-store pickup, and introducing private label products, these moves haven't been enough to turn the sales slump around. Consumers are holding on to their devices longer, and with inventory levels bouncing all over the place, the company is struggling to keep up. As competition continues to heat up, Best Buy may soon be forced to consider major layoffs just to keep the lights on. If the company can't find a way to steady the ship soon, it risks losing the personalized service and in-store expertise that once set it apart from the competition. With the retail world shifting rapidly, 2025 could be a make-or-break year. Shifting gears now, let's dive into GameStop. These days, GameStop is really struggling to keep up in an increasingly digital world, and 2025 could bring some major layoffs as it tries to adapt. A 9% drop in revenue in 2023 made it clear that consumer habits are changing, with gamers flocking to online platforms offering faster shipping and a wider variety of products. To make matters worse, in 2024, supply chain setbacks led to inventory shortages during crucial shopping seasons, frustrating customers and leading to missed sales opportunities. In an effort to diversify, GameStop dabbled in collectible merchandise, expanded its PC gaming sections, and even explored NFT initiatives, but none of these attempts have really gained traction. Meanwhile, the company's massive number of stores, many of which overlap, have only added to the strain on profits. With investors growing impatient, GameStop's future looks unclear. If the company doesn't manage to turn things around soon, 2025 could see a significant downsizing, fundamentally changing the brand that once ruled the gaming retail scene. Similarly, Rite Aid is in for a rough ride as it heads towards 2025. In 2023, the company saw a 4% drop in same-store sales, and things didn't get any better with rising labor costs and fierce competition from those ever-growing digital health platforms. Although Rite Aid has tried to mix things up by modernizing stores and focusing more on wellness products, it's clear these changes haven't been enough to make things better. To add to that, inventory issues have caused huge prescription drug shortages, sending customers running to the competition. With mounting debt and a shrinking market share, experts are predicting big cuts, including store closures and widespread layoffs. The real kicker is Rite Aid's failure to keep up with the booming telehealth trend. While online-first health providers are thriving, Rite Aid just can't seem to find its footing in the digital age. If they don't find a way to adjust, 2025 could be the year Rite Aid faces a critical crossroads, potentially losing its place in the industry for good. Up next, we've got Office Depot, another major company that's really feeling the pressure as it tries to keep up with the rapid changes in the retail world. The shift to service-focused workonomy hubs was supposed to be a turning point, but it hasn't been enough to counteract the 6% dip in retail sales by mid-2024. Despite cutting costs and closing some stores, deeper cuts are on the horizon. Looking back, failed mergers like the attempt to join forces with Staples left Office Depot without the efficiency boost it had hoped for. Now, with consumers tightening their wallets and online competition from Amazon growing stronger, things are looking tough. Analysts are predicting that thousands of jobs across various departments, whether it's in stores, marketing, IT, or supply chain, could be on the chopping block as Office Depot struggles to regain its footing. If they can't turn things around soon, 2025 might bring even more dramatic changes, including the possibility of the company stepping out of the office supply game entirely. Moving to our top 3, we've got Walgreens. This major retail chain is looking at some serious layoffs in 2025. The company has been hit with declining revenue and increased competition, which led to a 4% drop in sales in 2023. To make things worse, non-pharmacy retail sales took a 6% dive, and profit margins are getting smaller. Operational costs are increasing, reimbursement rates are getting lower, and supply chain problems are only adding to the financial issues. Walgreens has been trying to turn things around by investing in health clinics and expanding telehealth services, but so far, it's been hard to bounce back from these bigger challenges. It's facing fierce competition from rivals like CVS and the rapid growth of digital health platforms. In response, Walgreens is planning to streamline its operations to save costs, and that could mean big layoffs across pharmacies, stores, and corporate departments. While this restructuring could help stabilize the company, it might also affect customer service and lessen its competitive position. If things don't change soon, 2025 could be a major turning point, forcing Walgreens to look at where it stands in both the retail and healthcare worlds. Winding down this list at number 2, we have Target, a retail giant that's preparing for some potentially major layoffs in 2025. Once a pandemic darling, the company has struggled to keep up in the post-pandemic world, with comparable store sales dropping 5% by late 2023. Profit margins have taken a hit too, falling from 5.6% in 2021 to a mere 3.8% in 2023. Investments in digital upgrades, curbside pickup, and same-day delivery have eaten into earnings, leaving Target feeling the pinch. To add to the pressure, supply chain issues and rising operational costs have only made Target's financial position worse. Inventory problems have also been a headache, with unsold goods piling up into 2025, especially in categories like apparel, home goods, and electronics. As a result, workforce reductions are expected, particularly in underperforming suburban stores and across corporate departments like marketing, merchandising, and e-commerce. While these cuts are aimed at stabilizing the company, experts warn that they could negatively impact the customer experience and make it even harder for Target to bounce back in the long run. Last but certainly not least is Walmart. In 2025, Walmart is preparing for a major shakeup with potential layoffs that could affect tens of thousands of employees. As the largest private employer in America, Walmart faces some serious challenges despite its dominance in the retail game. Rising labor costs, supply chain headaches, and fierce competition from Amazon are all taking their toll on the company. In 2023, Walmart only saw a modest 2% year-over-year revenue growth, a far cry from its pre-pandemic performance. Profit margins also shrank to 2.7%, down from 3.1% in 2022, largely due to rising wages and higher costs to fulfill online orders. While Walmart has poured billions into e-commerce upgrades, including expanded delivery services and tech improvements in stores, it hasn't yet seen a significant bump in profitability. In response, Walmart's leadership is reportedly looking into consolidating stores, boosting automation, and slimming down staffing models to cut costs. While these moves might stabilize things in the short term, experts warn that aggressive layoffs could ultimately hurt the customer experience and put Walmart at a disadvantage in an already competitive retail landscape. That's all for this video on the major retailers that will face massive layoffs in 2025. Which of these retail chains do you think will pull through? Let us know in the comments section and enjoy our other videos.